Hello, everyone, and welcome to the On Air podcast with your hosts, Stephen Hudson, Paul O'Flaherty, and David Gall. The On Air podcast is the official podcast for Geek Dimensions and everyone living a geek's life. Alrighty then, folks. Fuck trying to get 10 seconds into this shit. All right.
And other news, Steve has stopped podcasting.
I so wanted to be able to just have that little 10-second bit of silence just at the beginning of the show. Yes. And to be able to, even out the whole show. And what do you guys do? Yeah, fuck around. Anyway.
I'm sorry, man.
Joining me in this week's Geek Dimensions podcast of hilarity and seriousness all rolled into one bouncy ball of bullshit in tech, Mr. Paul O'Flaherty in Birmingham?
No, he's Mobile. I'm Birmingham.
Oh, you too. You moved.
He's south. No.
Okay.
He's further south.
I'm further down, man. I go deeper.
You go deeper. In
Yeah.
Grandpa? You know I had to get in there somewhere, didn't you? Anyway, Paul O'Flaherty was... Yeah, I had to get into Grandpa.
We're going to be starting a section on nothing serious, David. And basically we'll just pose questions to our listeners and read out the answers. And this, for the next episode, the question is going to be, so, you heard it here first, folks. Things a woman should not call her vagina. Names she should not give her vagina.
The Mojave.
Our first suggestion, Grandpa.
Oh, that is just weird. That's weird.
Deeper.
I don't want to know what you guys
deeper.
do over there.
Stick it deep in my grandpa.
Yes, and Geekman just took right into left field, and we're going to keep on driving. Unless, of course, you work for GM. Oh, no. Sorry. I'm wrong. We're going to go with it. I know. But it was such a perfect segue. I thought I would take a shot, and I realized Google I.O. happened, and all I saw was pebbles.
You just realized that happened?
Yeah, so it happened. It happened, was that today?
Yeah, it was today. From about 9 until 10 this morning, my text feeds were fairly clear. There wasn't a lot of stuff. I went and did some work on some other stuff, came back at about 3 or 4, and there was like 500 posts all to do with Google I.O. Non-stop, repetitive
More
bullshit.
shenanigans. And this year, it was very much the same shenanigans. There's talk about the big announcement is the Android Wear, which I still debate the usefulness of a damn smartwatch, but whatever.
Here's the thing, Degal. When I took a look at that, it was like, the what?
Cause why not?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Heck, it's not about why. It's about why not.
Why not revamp the Nexus 10 and ditch the whole watch idea? What the hell is the point of a smartwatch? I own a Pebble. I wore it for, I don't know, a couple weeks, but then it's like, what do you need a smartwatch for when you've got a cell phone that's already that small? It's not like we're having to carry around brick phones where the smartwatch can actually be useful. So what? Your phone rings and you get a notification on your wrist that says, "Hey, your phone's ringing." Oh, really?
So
it's my fucking phone.
Like
it's in my pocket.
Knight. So that you can feel like Michael Knight.
Oh, please. Oh, my boy, I got a text message. Let me check my wrist, but I can't reply from my wrist. But I have to pull out my phone anyway to get to it. It's another device that you gotta charge. It's just more shit. It's more shit instead of creating. How about spending all this R&D in this stupid fucking watch and make us a better battery? So our devices and cell phones don't last a day tops. I'm sorry. I'm done. Fuck this watch.
See, that was the thing.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic, and now boom, there goes Google I.O. No, I looked at the pictures they had of it, and my immediate first thought was it's a Pebble.
Basically, yeah. It does everything a Pebble can do, except it's got, a sexy font and, but you look at the tool bags that actually go to Google I.O. sitting there with their glass on and just, man, No thanks.
Wow.
They can have their
So
stupid
to my
watch.
friends at Google I/O,
If you're a tool bag wearing a Google Glass, I'm sorry, but you were a tool. If you're not wearing a Google Glass and you're just there for legitimate reasons, or to perhaps bash on iOS, which apparently was the theme of the day, then more power to you, you know.
well, that was awesome. I mean, it's about time somebody actually, properly started calling out Apple on their innovation.
They should. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, besides the iPhone being, pretty much a pinnacle of modern computing, I suppose, yeah, we can bash on Apple a little bit because they don't have custom keyboards quick enough or whatever, which is truly sad. It's sad the level of the stiffness of iOS, the fact that you really can't do a whole lot. So Apple's trying to change it, and rightfully so. People hate on them for it because, they're definitely slow to the SDK plate, which is, but I don't know. How professional is it to start bashing iOS?
Slow. They're slower than a fat kid trying to swim uphill through treacle. I mean,
I will
slow
give you
is
that.
not the word.
I will give you that it is definitely, but Apple's response to this is, well, why would people want a custom keyboard when our keyboard works fine? It doesn't have swipe? Sure.
Okay,
Because not everybody wants to have what you dictate.
Exactly. Which is they're finally realizing this, which is why, I don't know, I like my Nexus. I have an iPhone, I have a Nexus. I like them both.
I love my Nexus, and actually, I'm looking forward to the next generation. Well, I think they're calling it the Play One. I think they're calling it is the next generation of the Google phone.
Which is interesting that it's basically just that they finally realized that everything else that's not stock Android kind of sucks.
It sucks rocks. I have a 10-inch Acer tablet.
He's boasting now.
Yeah, I wish I was. The thing's a pile of shit. It cannot update. It's stuck on 4.0.1. It will, and Acer absolutely refuses to upgrade the Android on it.
Yeah, I just got a 4.4.4 update on my tablet today.
I got that on my phone. And
got it on my phone last week.
I absolutely refuse to buy any Android product that is not stock Android.
Exactly. Any other experience, it just absolutely sucks. And it's very, very good news that this is happening. And basically, I think Google's kind of trying to reel in a lot of these carriers. Not just carriers, but carriers and the manufacturers themselves who take it upon themselves to, quote, enhance Android to their liking. So it looks like that Android One is going to be mainly for budget phones at first. I think they're launching it, in India. So it might come to the U.S. eventually. But
it will. But here's the thing. I lost my train of thought. Oh, the other reason I really like the Nexus is the fact that I could buy it off contract and I didn't have to feel like my wallet was being raped.
Sure. And you can use a carrier like Ting or somebody that's a fraction of the cost of an AT&T or T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Without any bullshit.
But, not to bash on them, but, there was a reason Windows Phone didn't get slagged off at Google I/O. And it probably should have been.
But here,
you guys have brought up.
It's no threat.
You guys have brought up one more. You guys have brought up one more thing there, which is I very, very recently almost ditched my Nexus and went looking for a Windows Phone, but without paying absolutely ridiculous prices or being stuck with AT&T or T-Mobile. There was no way I could do it. Get a decent Windows Phone off the track.
This is the other thing I noticed when I was reading through all this stuff. There was a lot of, even though Apple was bashing Android and Google was bashing OS 7, the fact is those two are forming a rather, shall we say, contestable partnership. Because nowhere in any part of what I saw today was there any mention whatsoever of the M word. Not one.
They're no threat to either of the two platforms at all.
They're not relevant. They're not relevant in
Exactly.
the mobile field at the moment.
Nobody cares
There's
because
no
they're
point
not doing anything interesting.
To have mentioned them would have been to give them mind share that they don't deserve. It would have led to, the stupid ass punditry of, Google and Apple were, slagging off Microsoft. Therefore, they must see Windows Phone as a threat. And the fact of the matter is that as much as I like Windows Phone, it's not a threat. It's just not.
No, it's not.
And just to put this out there, this is very good. The fact that the two are bashing each other and like really calling each other's shortcomings out is huge because it leads to, I think, a better experience as a consumer. I love this kind of competition, and I love the fact that, Apple's giving Google shit for malware, so Google steps up to the plate and is talking about how they're going to try and fix malware on Android. It's huge.
Here, what do you
and how you're going to try and, stop the fracturing of Android as well.
Oh God, they've got to do that. They really do. But that comes back to the whole carrier thing, because they're the ones that are basically fracturing it.
They're doing it on them exactly, and that's why people say they like Android. What do you really like? Because chances are you're using a phone that's not really the stock Android experience that Google has intended, which is also where a lot of the Android hate comes from, because people haven't used the stock Android experience. My bitch used to be that it's slow. The email client sucks. The web browser sucked. The app selection was vast, but I don't necessarily want a vast app selection. I'd rather just have a few select apps that I know will do what they're advertised. But I go to a device like a Nexus and it works flawlessly. It's fast. The menu animations are perfect because nobody's fucked with it.
Yep. Samsung, fuck you. T-Mobile, fuck you. AT&T, fuck you.
All of you.
Yeah, really. Like I'm going to use the AT&T Navigator over Google Maps. Like, what the hell are they thinking? Anyway, rant over.
Okay.
Well, you know what? There's one or two things that Google could do, right? One or two things that Google could do. They could stop shipping so many fucking keyboards with stock Android. Did you go in and look at the keyboards that are installed on your stock Android? There's like Korean keyboards and all sorts of shit, and you can't get rid of them.
And they keep getting updated.
What is it with shipping these HP printer services now?
Yeah, and it's an app that, and you try to install it, but you can't.
And it just says you can uninstall the updates to this app.
Yeah,
but you install the app. Speaking of app stupidity. Completely not in the story or anywhere like that, but what the hell is wrong with Foursquare? What is this new swarm shit and not being able to use the Foursquare app? Talk about a brand crisis. Anyway, sorry.
There was some other funny stuff. There were some guys, I don't know why they called them protesters, but basically there were some hecklers at I.O. Some dude was calling Google a totalitarian company that builds robots and kills people, blah, blah, blah. And then some other guy was bitching like he lost his house or something. Google is evicting me. This is a quote from the guy that was yelling. And there's video of this, by the way, which is just hilarious. So the guy's presenting, and he's talking about some stupid shit. He says, the guy gets up and screams, Google's evicting me from my house. Jack Halpern's a millionaire. He's evicting me and my family from my house. And you can see the audience just looking at this guy like, what the hell are you talking about? Who the hell are you? So, anyway, there's video of it. It's funny. You should watch it.
But you know what? On the bright side, this evil, evil company does have a heart. You'll have to do a search for this, Steve, because I only read it pre-show, but I don't have a link, but I'm sure it will come up. If you do a search, and you can put it in the show notes. Did anybody see about the little girl who sent a letter?
Yeah, she said, I did.
And she wanted her daddy to have a day off for his birthday. Because his birthday was on a Wednesday, but he only gets his day off on a Saturday. And Google gave him the whole week off.
Solid.
and sent her a little letter back saying the same thing. So they're not all evil.
Okay,
Yeah.
two interesting points came out of the Supreme Court today, and I think both of them are of interest, but primarily the one I'm more interested in from outside of the U.S., obviously, the fact that the Supreme Court has put Aereo out of business. They've literally slammed the door, shut down the lights, and said, no, boys, you cannot do this. Close up shop.
Yeah.
It's weird. There's a precedent for services like that, which is why this ruling is kind of puzzling. But start from the beginning in case, because Aereo, this was new to me. I didn't know who they were at first.
What Aereo does is
It's our company. Basically, what they do is they pick up over-the-air transmissions, okay? And they have technically a miniature antenna for every single customer. So when your over-the-air transmission is picked up, it's picked up by their antenna. It's then sent to you over the internet, essentially. Okay, so it's one transmission, one antenna per customer, one stream. Okay, so basically, there's nothing technologically here that's any different from Slimbox, say for example, except somebody else is doing it rather than you doing it from your own home. Okay,
Sure. It'd be like, so basically,
but-
if my cable box, if I could just pay somebody to hold my cable box and hook up the Slingbox in another facility, and I'm basically paying for the service. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
understood.
basically. But apparently the Supreme Court ruled that this is copyright infringement. So picking up over-the-air transmissions and basically just dumping them off somewhere else via the internet is copyright infringement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad to see that one. I really am. I'm really sad to see that.
I mean, I have a hard time sort of wrapping my head around this in the sense that, you know, yes, they are picking up a signal. Yes, they are changing the signal. Yes, they are transmitting it. But it's no different to what anybody does in their home.
Yeah, I know.
And it's no different to what many consumer devices allow you to do from your home. Except instead of paying a company to do it, you pay a company to manufacture. You know, if you do it from your own home, you pay a company to manufacture a device to allow you to do it. So it's a very sort of gray area for me. You know, I can legally buy this stuff to do this and there's no infringement, but I can't legally have somebody else do it for me.
Okay, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah. The other one that came out, and I didn't, like, we were going to talk about it in the other show, but we didn't, and it wasn't in these show notes. But the other decision that came down today from the Supreme Court was the fact that the police got told by the Supreme Court that they now need a warrant to seize and search your cell phone.
This should never have been a fucking problem in the first place. It should never have been a problem in the first place.
I don't know why they would. Who would thought that they wouldn't, considering it is your personal effect?
Searching your cell phone is like, it's an unreasonable search and seizure. Always has been. But, you know, I suppose in general, most people are too afraid to stand up for their rights.
Yeah.
You know? It has always been unreasonable. It's like saying, you know, I don't like the look of you, so now you're going, now I'm going to, you know, give you an anal cavity check. Or, you know, I don't like the look of you, so I'm going to go in through your house and I'm going to read through every single document that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Without any sort of, no reason at all. And you wouldn't mind, but like, over the last couple of years, we've read about like how many police forces have invested in equipment that
Stingray
will like clone your phone, take all the information off your phone, so that they can go through it. You know, your passwords be fucked. You know, so now all that stuff is, but you know what? It's not going to stop police forces using it. Unfortunately, there was no outright ban in this decision. You know, they have come out and they say, you know, in extreme cases, in extenuating circumstances. I forget what the words are. But if there's one thing that law enforcement have proven the worldwide over and time again, I'm not picking on any one law enforcement agency, is that if they want there to be, there's always
extenuating circumstances. Okay, speaking of extenuating circumstances, is there any reason why if you're driving down the road that you deserve to have your privacy invaded by someone texting you an anonymous message because they were able to scan your license plate and send you that text?
So where are the numbers and the plates stored? I don't understand this. Who is holding this database of phone numbers and license plates?
Yeah, that's what I'm not getting, is why is the information that is associated with the owner of a license plate publicly available to people who aren't law enforcement?
Okay.
It apparently must be in China.
Yeah, let's be clear. This is a project from GM China, R&D division and what they've done is the product is a prototype app called DD Plate for Android smartphone. With the app, drivers can snap a picture of someone's license plate, which is then used with an identification database to send that driver unsolicited text messages. DD Plate is centric to the Chinese market and would never likely make it to the U.S. shores. So
never say that.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if it's
a marketing too. Somebody can figure out how to market this shit. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Well,
I like that General Motors said they want to see the app and others like it made part of its in-car infotainment system. Can you, for what purpose? What is
what's that? So
downside to side? What is the upside to this?
I pull up. It's this. I'm driving down the road. I pull up behind the Gol, and I go, you know what? This cunt's, I don't like how this guy is driving. I sent him an anonymous text that says, fuck you, you're a lousy driver. Because that's my in-car entertainment.
Unless your infotainment is just to cause road rage, there is no other positive outcome to anything like this. This is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous story.
Not only is an example of, just how bad the invasion of privacy can go with a single database. A single database. Now mind all the databases out there that you're part of, right? If anybody can tap them all. But it's the kind of experiment that leaves you asking, why the fuck would they even want to do this? Why would GM want to do this? Why would they want to come up with something that can only piss drivers off?
Would be one reason not to buy their car. But if we want to make people angry or give them reason to rant, here's one for David. Notch dropped $46K on an unreleased Aphex Twin record. There was only one copy of the record pressed.
Yeah, Notch. Notch is the king of the fedora-wearing neckbeards. And that just fat fuck. And I didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was. We talked about it with the show. I thought I was going to rant. But fuck Notch. I don't like the cut of his jib, so to speak. I don't like the way he treats the community that made him rich, nor the way he treated the game and the shallow grave that he buried, the game that made him. I don't like him. So whatever, he can blow his money on a stupid ass record. Just go rot, Notch. Go rot in your fedora. You fuck.
Oh, okay. Well, how about the fact that the FAA is banning drones from delivering packages?
This is another one. You're just riling me up. Okay. So I told you about this earlier, and I was basically like, this is the line in which we draw in the sand the people that are just too retarded to live. And basically, if you thought that Amazon was seriously considering delivering products via drones, you should be taken out back and shot. This is the line. So obviously, okay, in case you are one of those people, and you're probably not ever going to listen to this podcast again, but while I have you, let me just explain something to you. So basically, This was obviously a marketing ploy on Black Friday to ensure that on Black Friday, everyone is talking about Amazon. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But there's so much wrong and so many unanswered questions about the how and just the logistics behind delivering with drones that there was no way it could have been treated seriously. But it was. People legitimately believe that Amazon was considering delivering things with drones, and that to me is mind-blowingly stupid. I cannot understand it, which is why that's where I draw the line.
Do you draw the line at...
It's not feasible today's drone technology. I mean, but...
Just think about if you live in an apartment.
All the better. It can come in my window.
I just know that my Christmas shopping then would be done with a shotgun.
I know, right? But I don't know. I mean, for certain types of things, it is actually logistically feasible, and probably for a lot less money than, say, for example, having a fleet of vans that have to be manned. There is obviously things like apartments and that sort of stuff that have to be worked out. And of course, you're still talking about being 10 to 15 years away from even putting anything in place in terms of current drone technology, because everything right down from capacity to battery life and the whole lot would have to be seriously worked out, which gets us back to your battery rant earlier. But, I think it's just a bad idea to pass laws that say you can't do this.
Absolutely. And it's so specific about, it specifically mentions, where, it mentions, basically they wanted to protect hobbyists. If you have a drone hobby, you're fine. It was just specifically delivering things for a fee. And so they specifically added in a footnote knowing that technically with Amazon Prime it's free shipping, kinda, sorta, but they specifically added that footnote that said, if an individual offers free shipping in association with a purchase or another offer, it's, that doesn't count. So it is just, it's so obvious where this was aimed. But yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't like this where basically they're just saying off the bat, this technology is completely illegal. You can't do it. Don't do it. Based on the assumption that the technology would never advance. Yeah. And I think that was the point that you were getting at.
Aren't we used to these sort of knee-jerk reactions to, somebody says it's bad. Oh, I don't want that. Therefore, let's ban it and sort of shut down any possibility of future innovation.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, while we're drawing lines in the sand, where would you draw your line, Dave and Paul, when it comes to Predator movies?
I like Predator. I think Predator is a badass.
Because apparently they're going to reboot it.
Yeah, it depends. Again, with reboots, it all depends on how to do it. All I can say is if you're going to reboot Predator, it has to be gritty. It has to be filthy, dirty, gritty.
Absolutely.
The only way it can be. Let's stay away from this Michael Bay. You notice all the sci-fi movies that come out lately, they're all super shiny, super lens flare and explosions. No, you need to get gritty, you need to get dirty, you need to get claustrophobic.
Like Alien.
Back to basics, because
Speaking of
yeah,
science,
real quick on this though, was Iron Man 3 the one with Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that particular Iron Man sucked.
Yes.
So I'm definitely not feeling confident about this particular Predator reboot based solely on the people involved, because as of right now we don't know a whole lot about it. And all we know is that the dude who directed probably the shittiest and the worst rated Iron Man is basically in charge of this. So we'll see if it.
He also directed Monster Squad. He wrote part of Lethal Weapon and The Last Boy Scout. Last Action Hero, we have him to blame for as well.
Speaking of sci-fi movies, are either...
one more thing before you went to your sci-fi movies there. Steve.
What?
You know, Dave was mentioning pre-show about the awesomeness of crossovers in sci-fi. Like, you know, they combined Aliens and Predator, and they made, like, you know, Aliens versus Predator, Aliens versus Predator Requiem. And, you know, if you're watching these movies and you look at the guns, and you know, like when you're watching, I think it's the very first episode of Firefly, and the gun that Nathan Fillion is firing at the ship that is coming in. The interface on the gun has the Yutani Weyland Corporation sign on the screen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Means that the Firefly universe is the same universe as Aliens versus Predator. So we need to put all this crap in together to one show.
Speaking of Nathan Fillion, did you hear that he is going to be voicing a character in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out?
It's a cameo, right?
Yeah, actually, it's even better than a cameo. He's going to be providing the voice for the telepathic dog that was the head of Nova, I think it was, in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't follow because it's a Russian telepathic dog.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
So let's have Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, I just think that's just awesome. It's like how did Vin Diesel get his part in that movie? All he says is 3 words.
You know what? Talking about people speaking with ridiculous accents. I happened to watch Transformers 3 the other day.
Why did you do that?
First time.
Why?
Because I'm a pacifist, dark at the moon. Right? The guy who plays Wash in Firefly, he's also in Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
He's also the lead in Tucker and Dale versus Evil and tons of other absolutely awesome stuff. And if you haven't seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil yet, you have not lived. You need to go watch that movie. He plays somebody in it with this most ridiculous German accent, and I'm like, why? I'm just leaving it at why. It hurts.
Apparently one sci-fi movie this year that is not hurting is Edge of Tomorrow. Have you guys read any of the reviews that are coming out or any of the response to the movie that's coming out?
They're fantastic.
I
don't know how. I haven't seen the movie yet, though, but that's definitely, I've bookmarked it, and when I can get a chance to watch it, I definitely want to.
Apparently...
I do not.
Here's the thing. Everyone that I've talked to, and everyone that I've read, this Edge of Tomorrow is the best sci-fi movie of the summer of the year, period, bar none.
All right. And I heard from a lot of people that Blackbeard was good. All right? So I went on IMDb, I looked at the reviews on IMDb, and the reviews just like slayed Blackbeard, right? Blackbeard is the pirate one with, what's his name, John Malkovich. Okay? But what I did find in the reviews there was people saying how awesome this thing called Black Sails is.
Yes.
Pirate show.
Awesome show.
So I went and I looked at the reviews on it, and the reviews are nothing. I mean, if these reviews could suck dick, they were sucking both balls at once. They were trying so hard, right? They were just adding that how awesome this Black Sail thing is. We nearly dumped the show after the first 3 episodes.
You shouldn't. You got to keep.
We're 6 episodes in. The first episode was good. The second episode was shit, and the third episode was mediocre. You know, episodes 4, 5, and 6 have been slowly pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, but it is by no means this awesome, epic, mega nut buster that the reviews would have you believe. So I don't trust reviews. And check out Black Sails.
Fair enough.
Black Sails is actually. You know what I did manage to catch, and we'll just do this one as we head out for the night. I managed to get a hold of the pilot episode for The Flash.
Huh.
It's actually very good. It's gonna, you know how Arrow is sort of become that good, solid comic rendition on TV.
I know. Arrow.
Yeah.
I watched first couple of episodes of Arrow and literally got rid of it.
You shouldn't have, man. It's a good series. Honestly, it is. Oh, man.
It rotted my brain. I feel my IQ dropping with each minute that passed.
Well, that explains a lot.
Which is just why right now I'm working my way through the original X-Men TV series. The original.
That's gonna rescue your brain cells.
Not really, but you know what?
Okay, guys, we're getting on here. Anything interesting this past week in your lives?
Years.
I've been watching Sons of Anarchy, oddly enough, and it was a little slow at first, but I'm in season 3 right now, and or season 2, and it's definitely picked up. So, I don't know, I'm kind of looking forward to continuing that show.
I do have one for you. For anybody who has been watching True Blood for the last 6 seasons, it just started its final season.
Why?
Do yourself a favor.
Shoot yourself.
When next week's episodes come on, and you seriously considering going and watching it, go slit your wrists a second.
Yes, I totally agree. And on that fine, upbeat comment from Paul and from David, we'll call this show to an end for another week. We will be back next week for another great episode of just cranky geeks having fun.
An absolute rant fest.
Yes. Yes.
Tonight.
I don't think he said anything nice about anything.
I did. I said something nice about Sons of Anarchy. It was great. That's all I've got to say that's nice. What else? Anything nice we can say, or do we just cut it loose on that note?
I think we just cut it loose on that note and wish everybody a great weekend coming up. And remember, folks, the most important golden rule, keep it geek. You've been listening to Geek Dimensions On Air podcast with Stephen Hodson, Paul O'Flaherty, and David Gall. You can send any feedback about this or any of our other episodes to feedback@geekdimensions.com or by leaving a comment on the post. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus as Geek Dimensions. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, and podcastpd.org, or you can use our RSS feed for the show. The music used in the show is Metro by Sleek Thief. The On Air podcast is the official podcast of Geek Dimensions and everyone living a geek's life.